What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me here on this Friday, January the 13th, 2023, for another metallic episode of Music of Destruction, coming to you from the MOD Crypt as always. Thank you, Janelle, for all your hard work. I really appreciate it. Bringing you the best in metal-related content right here on YouTube on one of the only metal channels you need. You can also check out Thralls of Metal, Metal Ben's Chronicles, and Ken's Death Metal Crypt. Those are three of my favorites. Big shout-outs to those guys as well. Oh, Thrash and Be Thrashed, another good channel. If you missed anything in the past week, click the eye, bring down the menu. Everything you need to get caught up is there, as well as on the home page. Make sure you go and get caught up on all my latest work and appreciate it. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications so you know when I post a new video. Up front, opinionated, critical, and honest. If you don't like that, go watch somebody else. Welcome to Metal Album Warfare Fridays here on the channel. Tonight we have an awesome battle of one of the most classic bands of all time with Bathory, the self-titled, versus the Return of Darkness and Evil, or just the Return if you prefer. Now, the self-titled Bathory album was released in 1984 on Black Mark Productions. The Return was released in 1985 on Black Mark Productions. All right, now, I don't think this band needs much of an introduction. However, for those of you who may not know much about Bathory, I'll give you a quick synopsis. Quorthon created something we had never expected or seen before in the early 80s. Now, this was something a lot more sinister, foreboding, dark, and downright evil, and this genre would forever become known as black metal. Now, I know many of you are going to say that it was Venom. Well, you're wrong, okay? And I'm going to explain why. Because Venom was never black metal at all. The band played dirty thrash metal with satanic lyrics and imagery, which does not make a band black metal. You have to have the sound to go with it. Bathory was one of the first to have the lo-fi production, screeching vocals, and higher-pitched wailing guitars, and simplistic raw drum work, okay? Sure, Hellhammer and Celtic Frost definitely helped in the creation of the genre, along with Mayhem, obviously. But when it comes to pure black metal, Bathory, in my eyes, are the closest thing to it in the early 80s. Now, Mayhem, would come along in 1987 with Death Crush, and before that, 1986 with Pure Fucking Armageddon. So you could definitely say that Mayhem and Bathory, obviously, are both first wave. But with it really taking shape in 1987 for Bathory with Under the Sign of the Black Mark, which to this day remains a quintessential black metal record. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Now, note, being that the self-titled is only 8 tracks, we're doing an 8 versus 8 track comparison here, okay? So let's do it. First up, we have Hades from the self-titled album versus Revelation of Doom from The Return. Hades is like a dark, ominous, evil-sounding event that's about to take place, and it's got some great ambience and great chanting in it and stuff like that with some thunder in the background. Really sets the tone for the album. However, Revelation of Doom from The Return actually turns into black metal attack after this long, ominous, dark intro, and they're both really, really good. However, I feel Revelation of Doom is a better track, being that it actually contains black metal. Hades is just like an ambient, dark intro, so I'm going to give the point to The Return, so we have a 1-0 lead for The Return. Next, we have Reaper from the self-titled versus Total Destruction from The Return, and I gotta give both these tracks a point because they're so ominous, intense, dark, foreboding, and fucking nightmarish, and sinister, and evil, and that raw production shines through on both of these releases. Now, while the self-titled has a bit more of a Motorhead influence, you could certainly hear that on here, and there's nothing wrong with that. Total Destruction just breaks open all the barriers, smashes through that wall, and this is pure black metal attack, whereas Reaper has a bit of that slower-paced, proto, hard rock meets black metal, but they're both amazing tracks, great atmosphere, lyrics, amazing instrumentation going on here, so these are both getting a point. We have a 2-1 lead for The Return. Next, we have Necromancy from the self-titled versus Born for Burning from The Return, and I gotta tell you, man, Born for Burning is one of my favorite early Bathory tracks before he went into more Viking metal territory, which is amazing stuff. The only Viking metal band that matters is Bathory, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not a big fan of that subgenre. Anyway, Born for Burning, sinister, dark, hateful, evil, occult-sounding black metal, very sinister and very dark and ethereal. Necromancy is quite overrated on this album, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a good track, but this is not one of my favorites on the self-titled. Still a great song, but I think Born for Burning is just that much better. So we're going to give it to The Return. We have a 3-1 lead for The Return right now. Next, we have one of my favorites on the self-titled, Sacrifice versus The Wind of Mayhem from The Return. And I got to tell you, man, Sacrifice, mind-blowing Bathory-Self titled track. Fast, aggressive, dark, hateful, and just pure fucking evil, sonic, intense, aggressive stuff here. Very awesome vocals here from Quorthon. The Wind of Mayhem, same thing from the return. You got an amazing production here that's very raw and sinister. Some awesome guitar work on here. The bass is way high up in the mix on the whole album, actually. And, I mean, just fucking amazing stuff. The Wind of Mayhem, classic fucking Bathory, and I got to give a point to both of them, so we have a 4-2 lead for the return. Next, we have In Conspiracy with Satan, amazing track from the self-titled versus Bestial Lust from the return, and I'm telling you, man, both these tracks, absolutely astounding black metal. As I said, the self-titled has a bit more of that hard rock influence there from Motorhead, but it doesn't matter. They're both fucking amazing, absolutely evil, dark, occult black metal with that sinister old school production, and Quorthon's vocals are literally bone-chilling, absolutely awesome. Both these getting a point, so we have a 5-3 lead for the return. Next, Armageddon, one of my favorites from the self-titled versus Possessed from the return, and I'm telling you, again, amazing sonic intensity. You got amazing builds and amazing fucking atmosphere here on both of these tracks, and just sinister stuff here. This is classic 80s black metal. I mean, what more could you want? It's fucking Bathory, guys. Just awesome stuff here. You can't go wrong with either of these fucking albums. That's why I have both of them, and I have Under the Sun of the Black Mark. I still have to get Blood, Fire, Death. These are fucking incredible tracks. Just put them on. Just put them on. Both getting a point. So now we have a 6-4 lead for the return. Next, we have Raise the Dead, which is my favorite track from the self-titled versus The Rite of Darkness from the return. Unbelievable. Couldn't pick a winner here. Super intense, aggressive, heavy, dark, fucking sinister black metal. Just, Quorthon was the man. This guy started it all for the genre, in my opinion, along with Mayhem. And yeah, amazing. Listen to them side by side, one after the other. You'll see what I mean, why they're a tie. They're fucking great tracks. This is just unreal how good Bathory is. It's so hard to do an album versus album of this band. Amazing stuff, both getting a point, so we have a 7-5 lead for the return. Finally, we have War from the self-titled versus Reap of Evil from the return. What two awesome tracks to close out this album. I know the return has 3 more tracks, but the self-titled only has 8. As I said in the beginning of the video, we can only do an 8 versus 8. But yeah, total fucking destruction from both these tracks. I mean, unreal. Just what Quorthon had here was something that'll never be done again. I don't care what anybody says. Bathory's spirit of black metal is what breathed death into black metal and made it what it was. It's fucking Bathory. What can I say? Amazing. Both getting a point, so we have a 6-8 lead for the return. We're going to add up the scores now. Bathory self-titled coming in with 6 points. The return comes in with 8. Now, the return takes the win here, but not by much, because I do love this album just a little bit more. However, that is not to say that the self-titled Bathory album is underwhelming whatsoever. It is a fucking masterpiece. I just think the return is even better, more sinister, evil, and dark. Hail the fucking underground. Alright, there you have it. Another Metal Album Warfare is in the books here on the channel. Hope you enjoyed the premiere. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Merchandise on the homepage. Click the store tab. We're going to be coming up with some new designs. Janelle and I thank you for your help. Join the channel right now to become an MOD Elite. You get great perks. $249 for your first month, $499 thereafter. Thank you to Metal Ben's Chronicles. Just joined a couple days ago. Hit the join button. You get access to exclusive content, review requests within reason, band interviews. Speaking of which, Cadaver Rights coming up soon. And I'm going to be promoting Holocaust and interviewing Metal Ben of that. You also get access to members-only live streams and collaborations if you have a Metal YouTube channel as well. So yeah, awesome stuff. I'm going to be doing a new podcast here pretty soon for you guys. Just got to come up with some ideas. I think I'll poll all of you members and find out what you want me to cover for the exclusive podcast for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Have an awesome night. We'll see you for the Crypt Underground Metal Radio Show tomorrow night. Members only. Hails.